the girl child as a catalyst for social transformation in line with the celebration of the girl child, which is for this week, although it's celebrated every 11th of October, but throughout the week is designed as the week for the year of the girl child. Now, let's turn our attention to some policies that we feel can reshape the girl child having a good social transformation in our society. Senator Natasha Akpoti Udwaga, Senator representing Kogi Senatorial District, has brought to the national attention to the issue of the Nigerian women and girls trafficked to Libya, held in Libya prisons. Now, during Senate plenary, she stated that many of these women or girls were being used against their will, subjected to sexual abuse by prison officials, and were even some of them have even given birth to children while in custody. A key points include that they should be repatriated. She was calling on the Nigerian immigration and Nigerian prisons to make sure they were repatriated back to Nigeria. She moved that particular motion. Well, let's get to hear from her and let's see how the House reacted to it.
Prisons to repatriate Nigerian female prisoners who birthed children in prisons. This is born out of the fact that numerous Nigerian women who were sex trafficked to Libya and happened to escape the unworthy, unhuman situations were arrested and detained in the Libyan prisons, and they are being used to satisfy the sexual urges of the prison warders and prison officials. It is a fact that many of our Nigerian women who found themselves in the Libyan prisons are pregnant, and many have given birth to children who live in the prisons. So I would appreciate the chambers and my colleagues do approve this so that children, innocent children who are of Nigerian heritage, do not suffer with their innocent mothers, that they be brought back to Nigeria. Thank you.
Any seconder that we should urge the Nigerian
immigration and prison services to
liaise
with the Libyan prisons to repatriate Nigerian female prisoners who birthed children in Libyan prisons.
All right. Any seconder? Any seconder? Yes, seconder, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the additional prayer as most ably moved by distinguished Senator Natasha.
Repeat the additional prayer so that people will understand.
All right. Well, that created a room for laughter, but it was so shocking and surprising to see that there are women in that chamber, the Senate there. They didn't rise up to support what Senator Natasha Akpoti Oduhanga raised. That was a very critical issue that needs urgent attention. I don't know if it's because of the passing of Natasha, owing to the fact of maybe the issue she had with Akpabio. But away from that, there are mothers there to think that young girls are trafficked from this country, all in the bid to get to, internationally, to want to make success in their lives. And along the line, they're held in prisons, especially in Libya, and they're used as sex slaves to satisfy sexual urges of individuals, most times prison warders and all that. And women are seated there. Well, let's leave that emotion. But then, let's get back to the studio. Mavis, what do you make of this story given by Senator Natasha Akpoti Udwana?
It's very heart-wrenching to know that there are people in that situation. We should also know that most times when it comes to trafficking, most families or most of the girls are not aware of what they are going over there to do. Most of them are, but most of them aren't. And aside this, seeing that they were not just imprisoned, they were made to give birth in that same condition. And even if they had accepted their life, their children did not accept the life. So it is so wrong to leave those children in that situation in the prison. And also hearing the fact that when they asked someone to second the motion, it was very difficult. And it took a while before anyone stood up. I really do not know what to say about it. I'm just lost for words, but I just hope and I just pray that they do something about it, and I hope that the girls are saved as well as their children.
Okay, let's hope for the better. But the person that seconded that motion was Senator, the Senate leader, Okpeyemi Bamidele. And of course, it was unanimously adopted by the Senate to focus on the victims. Of course, Senator Natasha highlighted that many of the women were victims of human trafficking. So that means it wasn't their intention to just
Yes.
travel out. They were trafficked they were assured jobs
Yes.
and a better life when they
Better life.
travel out. But unfortunately, this
Yes.
met them. Of course, they were also imprisoned after some of them escaped from their captors, and at the end of the day, they were caught back. So it's quite sad.
It is really sad because seeing that they escaped the situation is enough reason for the government to want to save them. Because if they liked that life and they loved the life and everything that came with it, they wouldn't have bothered escaping. But they did because they want a better life. They want freedom. What happens to fighting for the freedom of people? They are Nigerians regardless of wherever they are at the moment. So it's important for us to fight for every Nigerian, both in diaspora. And I hope that the government do something about this because they really need to be saved. And to think that it is International Day of the Girl Child Month, I believe that we can actually do something to save the girl child.
Well, the Senate, they are already calling for the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and other relevant ministries to create a comprehensive reintegration program for the victims. Now, this is not the first time such is happening. We've heard stories like this, and at some point, Abike Dabere, the chairman of Diaspora, you see them, they call her NAPTIP, immigration, they always call on them. Why do you think we keep having these issues of people, especially young girls, migrating from the country we are into other places?
Um, like I said, most reasons or the major reason why girls have to go through all of this is because of economic hardship. Now, if you come to a girl who is suffering to even, it's very difficult to eat 2 times in a day, and they have family members to cater for, most especially their parents and then perhaps their siblings, and you come to them and promise them a better life. Who would not grab a better life? Who would not go for a better life? Only to get to your destination and your dreams are shattered, and you notice that, oh, you've been sent out for something that you never bargained for. This is their story. They've been promised a better life and they grabbed it because everybody wants to live a better life. Everybody wants to be able to eat 3 times a day. And if you promise a person that this is possible, they will grab it and grab every opportunity possible, only to find out that it is for something like this. It is really appalling. And I'm urging the government to do something about it. Trafficking needs to stop. It needs to, by all means.
Well, let's hope that the Senate just take it, not just that goes beyond just talking in the House, and the prayer should be granted.
Yes.
Now, let's begin to look at government policies as we begin to wind down. What do you think should be the best policy in terms of making a safe place for the girl child in the country?
Okay. So there are several laws that have been put in place to protect every child and the girl child as well. I listed the VAP Act, which prohibits female genital mutilation. I also made mention of the Child's Rights Act of 2013 that also provides for education, that also speaks against sexual abuse and speaks against child marriage, child betrothal. We also have the Trafficking in Person Prohibition Act that also speaks against trafficking, what we just discussed about. And I believe that it is not just about putting the laws out there, it is also about enforcement. And I believe that there are several agencies that enforces this law. And I believe that they are doing their best, but I think we can do better. I believe we can do better to ensure that all of these acts are completely eradicated and eliminated.
Okay, let's while we begin to wind down, I don't know if there are any women who you think that become change makers, like you talked about, Ngozi
Yes.
Okonjo
Mm-hmm.
Iweala. Let's see if one or two of their experience can help people shoot out there. You can also be an experience because as I
Mm-hmm.
see you are Miss Face of
Amazing.
Humanity
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Now,
Thank
how were
you.
you able to achieve this and you are still standing tall as the beautiful lady that you are today?
Thank you very much. So, like I said at the beginning, my dad is someone that believes so much in education. So, I believe that was the start of something, getting me to enroll in school, enrolling me in school, primary and secondary school, and also ensuring that he does everything humanly possible to send me to the university. I think that's the start of everything. And having to go to the university, experiencing what it feels like to be in the four walls of the university, also making connections with friends and building my mental space, and also ensuring that I'm intellectually able to carry out several activities pertaining law as a law graduate. I believe that that changed everything for me. He assured me that I could do anything, and now I am here because there is someone that believed in me. There is someone that motivated me. And having left university and graduated, I decided to go for this pageant. They've given me a platform that empowered and is still empowering me. And there are several other persons and girls, particularly, that this platform has empowered. And there are so many other platforms that are empowering girls. Now, I have created a foundation, an initiative that talks about the rights of children. And I am so happy because through the help of my initiative, I'm able to reach out to as many people as possible, speak about policies, and sensitize people about the importance of education and why we should abide by the law when it comes to the protection of the rights of children. And I believe that if every girl has someone that believes in them, I think that will be the start of something great.
All right. Now that we've looked at girls, let's look at the boys. You've talked about your father. Fathers are supportive. Now, do you think that boys have a role to play in creating a safe space for
Yes.
girls to socially
Yes.
transform the society?
A lot. Um, a boy child should be a champion, like I said, for change, most especially when it has to do with menstrual hygiene management. I believe that the major reason why most girls are afraid or ashamed to go to school when they are, when they're menstruating, is because they are scared to be shamed by particularly the guys. So if
Or
we
stained?
or stained,
Yes.
when you're stained, it gives them this, there's this
Ill
look that
feeling.
you get, and
Yeah.
it actually ruins your confidence. And that's why most girls actually avoid school during that period. But it doesn't have to be like that. I believe that if every boy child in school is taught that menstrual hygiene is not, it's not a disease or a sickness or something that should be looked at, but it's something that you should be more supportive, and something that whenever you see a girl in that situation, you should be willing to help in any way possible. So a boy child has a huge role to play, because someday there will be fathers, and when you be a father, what would you do? So the whole thing you should think about now is the way I am going with my life. Do you think that when I become a father, I'll be a better father or a good father? So I think that question should remain in our heart, and most especially for the guys.
For the guys.
So yes.
There's this thing growing up. Each time they'll say, okay, go and wash plates. They feel the washing of the plates is
It's
for the girls. And they feel maybe cleaning of the cars is for the guys. And, it makes them feel like, okay, they're okay. But these days, well, growing up for me, we shared washing of the plates.
Yeah,
Even
that's
though
what
I'm around the millennial, we shared washing. If I wash on Monday, my younger brothers, they also wash. And sometimes they'll say, cooking is it wasn't only for ladies though. My brothers, they cook. In fact, they pound yam.
Yes.
So if the boy child gets all this type of signals to know
Yes.
that, okay, these are challenges women go through, and when they go through it, they tend to feel it more and feel it better. Who
Yes.
knows, that may even make them be a better people in the society.
Yes, exactly. Because if you are, as a boy child, grow up with the mentality that a girl is supposed to do the house chores, supposed to cook, supposed to do the dishes, it's going to be so difficult for his wife, because getting married, you would also be with that mentality that a girl is supposed to do all of these things. I'm not supposed to do anything related to that. But it's good for parents to start inculcating those ideas, because getting, like you said, these signs will help them to be better.
All right. Now let's have your final take on the discussion this morning in
Yes.
as a girl child being a catalyst for change in our society.
Yes. A girl child, to every girl child under the sound of my voice, you were born a girl for a reason. You are beautiful, not just beautiful, you're smart, and believe you me, anything you lay your hands to do, you do it so well. It is a gift that we all have. You just have to embrace that gift. You just have to try as much as possible to avoid anything that limits you. You can do all things. There are girls who are engineers. There are girls who are in tech. There are girls who are lawyers. There are girls who are doing tremendously well in politics as well. And you can be that girl and you can be better.
All right, you can be that girl and you can be better. I mean, I feel so glad being around a beauty queen and see how fluently she speaks. You know, it encourages me to even want to do better. How much more a young girl listening to us. So, empowering the girl child for everyone out there, you should know it's not just a favor, it is a necessity for building a safe society and, of course, a progressive society. Every girl deserves that right, trust me. From families to communities to even nations, they can transform the nation. There's this saying, they say, build empower the boy, empower a child, empower the girl, a community or a nation, you know. So let us nurture and protect and, of course, invest in the girl child today, because she holds the power to shape a brighter and fairer tomorrow. Thank you so much, Ambassador Marvis Ogbewi, for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's where we'll wrap it up today on The Big Story. Do well to join us tomorrow for another interesting package. I remain Mariah Goretti Ulugbe. Up next will be the Sports Shuffle. Bye for now.